Hello and welcome to SchedulesPlus tutorials. Today we're going to take a look at how to use time cards in the system. First we'll talk about how to set it up, and then we'll show you how individuals can add a time card. Time cards include clocking in and clocking out. First you'll want to create a group called Time Card, and if that group does not already exist, you can easily create that by clicking on the New button to create it. And once you have the time card group, you'll want to assign or add people to that group. Those will be the people that are authorized to use a time card to clock in and clock out. If I click on the number in this group, the number 3, it shows me the individuals authorized right now to be able to add time cards for themselves into the system. Let's take a look at then how one of these individuals could actually clock in or clock out. They can do so in one of two ways. They can use your check-in station by scanning a card or putting in their telephone number and then clocking in or clocking out. And if that person is also an administrator who is authorized to sign in as an administrator in the system, they can also add their time card after they've logged into SchedulesPlus for the day. That does not mean that only administrators can be the ones authorized to add time cards. Many sites use this for volunteering, drivers, and so on. So you can actually have people who are not authorized to sign in to the system use time cards because of your check-in station. That's where they would use it. And then you have administrators who can either use the check-in station or log into SchedulesPlus to add their time cards. Let's take a look at it from the check-in station. At the check-in station, an individual is going to scan their card or put in their telephone number to find themselves in the system. And as that person is presented, they will now see in their welcome area some additional information. It'll show when the time card system for them was last used, and in this case, there was a clock out at 1:50 p.m. on Monday, 12/17. You'll see a green clock-in button. The system is smart enough to recognize what is the next valid kind of time card. So in this case here, since the last one was a clock out, this must be a clock in for Deb. So when she's ready to clock in, she simply clicks the green clock in button. After she's done that, now the last time card that was entered is shown, and the next time she comes in to clock out, there's just a yellow clock out button. So it makes it very simple for Deb to clock in or clock out. Clock in buttons are green, clock out buttons are yellow. That is how quickly it is for an individual to use the check-in station to clock in or clock out. Let's take a look at what this does administratively. How is this time card information then entered and included administratively? Let's go back to the admin side. Administrators are defined in the system to be authorized to edit time cards for your entire set of individuals. Not just because you're an administrator in the system, it doesn't mean you can edit and change and delete time cards. Only a certain number that you define. Usually it's the account owner, but maybe you have one other individual who is authorized to add, edit, or delete time cards for everyone that you've defined in the time card area. But if I'm going to take a look at the time cards within the system, you'll notice there isn't a tab here at the top to do that, but rather that's going to be in the profile area, which is where you click on your name at the top, and then there is a time card tab there. When I open that time card tab, it opens to me automatically because I am defined as a person who enters time cards. As a person who is authorized to edit everyone's time cards, I can see all of those names here. If I'm just a normal administrator and I'm in the time card group, I could come here to add my own time card to clock in and clock out, but I wouldn't be able to see everybody else's. The only people authorized to see and edit everyone else's are those that are defined by your account owner in your account setting. If I want to see all of the time cards that are entered, I just click all. If I want to see them all for a specific month, I can do that. I just change the filters here and you'll see those show up. So you can see Mark Anders had several time cards here, 1 hour on 12/13 and 4.08 hours. So the system automatically calculates those totals for you as a result of seeing an in and an out. And you'll see here, we see Deb's cards here as well. in and an out. We see an in here, but she doesn't have an out. So if I've noticed that there's something missing there, and she perhaps did not do an out, I can actually add that for her by simply filtering just to her time cards. And then you'll see off to the right, I can add a time card record. So I can clock in and assign that to a category, and I can simply say when that time is that I want to add. So I can put in the time, if I had a note, I could add that note. I go ahead and add that, and now as I add that, that's going to be in the system. As I look here, I did a couple of mistakes. I can easily remove those to fix this situation by editing. And here I added it as a clock in when I actually wanted to make it a clock out. So I'm going to actually want to delete that record and then add the proper record. So now I've added that record, and you can see 2:10 to 3 o'clock and so on. So the mistake I made earlier was I added a record as a clock in when it should have been a clock out, so I could delete my mistake and fix it. And if I put in a time before, it will also show strangely. So the system is designed to show you an in and an out, and you'll always want to look for this white and yellow next to each other, because that will highlight to you that the in and out times are properly noted and reflected. If I wanted to do that for another individual, perhaps Mary. Mary contacted me and said she had a time card, but she forgot to put it in on a certain day. I can easily add that for her on the day that she's indicated with the time and add it, and then the clock out with the time that she had reflected to me and add it. So now Mary's hours are in there correctly. So if I look at the entire list now, I'll see everyone's hours. If I want to filter this to a specific week because I need to process time cards, I can actually put in the date range that I'm interested in and just filter to that list and then print this list for my use. So that is a really quick look at time cards. Thank you for joining this tutorial on time cards and Schedules Plus.